In a forgotten village where the dust never settles, lived a girl cursed by her own blood. Amina, the poor daughter no one wanted. Beaten by her stepmother, rejected by her father, mocked by her sister, laughed at by the world. They called her useless. They said she was a curse. And when she was forced to marry a man in rags, the village laughed louder than ever. But what they did not know is that love, respect, and destiny were about to turn her shame into a crown. The evening sun painted the village red as Amina knelt in the dusty compound, pounding yam with blistered hands. Her faded blue wrapper was torn at the hem, her bare feet cracked from farm work. From the doorway, Zainab's sharp voice lashed out. "Lazy child," she snapped, her colorful scarf bouncing as she scowled. "Pound harder before your father comes." "I am trying, Mama Zainab," Amina whispered, her almond eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Baba Usman limped past with his cane, spitting into the sand. "If only you had died with your mother," he muttered. "You bring nothing but shame." Amina's lip trembled. She struck the mortar harder, though her heart shattered inside. At dawn, smoke filled the small clay kitchen. Amina crouched by the dying fire, her hands blackened with soot. Her wrapper was torn at the hem, and her scarf hung loose. "You useless girl," Zainab barked, slamming a pot onto the stove. "Do you want us to starve?" I tried, Mama Zainab," Amina whispered, coughing in the smoke. The wood was wet. Baba Usman entered, cane striking the ground. "Always excuses," he growled. "This child will kill me with shame." Amina's eyes watered as smoke rose. Even the fire seemed to reject her. Later that day, Amina carried a basket of firewood on her head. Her stepsister Amira strutted beside her in a new bright gown, gold earrings glittering. "Look at you," Amira sneered, adjusting her fine scarf. "Always smelling of smoke and sweat. Who will ever marry you? Even beggars deserve better." Amina swallowed hard, lowering her eyes. "I carry what I can." From the roadside, villagers chuckled. Baba Usman's voice echoed coldly. "She is cursed. No suitor will come." Amina's chest tightened. Her steps were heavy, but she held the basket with quiet dignity. That night, Amina sat outside beneath the stars, clutching her knees. Her old wrapper barely shielded her from the cold breeze. From inside, laughter rang, Zainab and Amira feasting on meat. She whispered into the night, "Oh, Mama, why did you leave me? I am nothing but a slave." Her father's voice thundered from the doorway. "Stop wailing, girl. You disturb the peace." Amina wiped her eyes quickly, forcing silence. But her heart ached deeply. Alone under the night sky, only the crickets kept her company. On market day, Amina walked barefoot, carrying a small bundle of vegetables to sell. Her wrapper was patched, her scarf faded. At the busy stalls, women whispered. "That's the cursed girl," one muttered. "Her father wishes she were dead." Amira appeared, adorned in bright ankara, jingling bracelets. She laughed loudly. "Sister, who will buy your wilted leaves? Men want wives of beauty, not ragged ghosts." Amina's cheeks burned. She lowered her bundle and arranged it quietly, determined not to cry. Even in mockery, she clung to dignity, for silence was her only shield. Amina knelt in the dust, offering a roasted yam to a hungry boy. Her faded blue scarf slipped from her braids, torn wrapper clinging to her knees. The boy's smile gave her warmth, until Zainab stormed out. "You thief!" Zainab snarled, wrapper bright against her dark skin. "You waste food for beggars?" She slapped Amina, sending her reeling. Baba Usman leaned on his cane, nodding coldly. "One day hunger will kill this fool." Still trembling, Amina pressed the yam into the boy's hand. "Eat," she whispered, her cheek burning. On the rocky path, Amina stumbled. The clay pot on her head crashed into shards. Her scarf slipped as she dropped to her knees, hands bleeding. Amira strutted up, her bright ankara swaying, gold earrings glittering. "Even water runs from you," she mocked. Zainab stormed in fury, wrapper flashing. "You'll replace it with your sweat." Amina gathered the shards silently. Yet, in her heart she thought, if I mend these, I could sell them as bowls. That night, laughter and meat smells filled the hut. Amina sat outside under the stars, clutching her belly. Her faded wrapper hung loosely, bare feet pressed into the cold earth. "Eat your air, cursed one." Amira's mocking voice rang from inside. Zainab's laughter followed, sharp as a blade. Baba Usman added, better hungry than a burden. Amina hummed softly, her voice fragile but beautiful. The night seemed to pause, listening to her sorrowful song. In the bustling market, Amina spread a mat of raffia she had repaired from scraps. Her scarf was tied around her braids, wrapper patched but neat. "Who will buy from her?" women sneered. An old man knelt, touching the weaving. "Child, you have skill," he said, pressing a coin into her palm. Amira snorted, jangling bracelets. "Only fools waste money on rubbish." But Amina's almond eyes brightened. For the first time, her hands created value, not just shame. Visitors arrived at Baba Usman's hut. Quickly, Zainab pushed chores onto Amina, who shuffled with a tray of water. "See this girl," Zainab announced, wrapper bright, voice sharp. "A curse who eats but cannot produce." The guests chuckled. Baba Usman added coldly, "She is my shame." Amina's hands shook, spilling water. The laughter grew louder. Her cheeks burned, but inside a whisper told her, "Endure. Your crown will come." The compound bustled with whispers. Amina's stepmother forced a worn veil onto her head. Her faded blue scarf and patched wrapper looked more like mourning clothes than bridal wear. "This cursed girl is lucky anyone wants her," Zainab sneered. Villagers gathered, shaking heads. Baba Usman spat. "Let her go. She's no daughter of mine." Emeka stood quietly, tall and lean, in his faded shirt and trousers, sandals worn thin. Though mocked, his eyes softened on Amina. When he took her hand, he whispered gently, "Do not fear, Amina. I will not harm you." After the ceremony, no music played, no drums beat. Amina sat on a stool, veil slipping, eyes downcast. The only meal offered was cold yam. Amira laughed, bracelets jingling. "Even beggars eat better than this wedding." Zainab clapped her hands mockingly. "May this curse follow her to her husband's house." Emeka looked at Amina, his voice soft but firm. "Eat, my jewel. One day, you will not taste shame, only honor." For the first time, Amina's lips curved faintly, her heart stirred. At dawn, Amina followed Emeka along the dusty road. Her bundle was small, a torn wrapper and old mat. Villagers lined the path, whispering cruelly. "She marries poverty itself," one woman said. Baba Usman raised his cane proudly. "She is no longer my burden." Amina's steps were heavy, but Emeka slowed to match her pace. "Lift your head, Amina," he murmured. "The world will yet bow to you." Her almond eyes flickered with disbelief, but also with the faintest spark of trust. Emeka led Amina to a small mud hut at the edge of the village. Its roof sagged, walls cracked. "This is your palace now," Zainab had mocked earlier. Amina stepped inside, wrapper brushing the dusty floor. To her surprise, Emeka spread a mat for her. "It is not much," he said gently, "but here, no one will harm you." Tears filled her eyes. For the first time in her life, someone's words carried respect. That evening, Amina tried to cook with trembling hands. Her wrapper was smudged with smoke, scarf loose. Emeka noticed and took the pestle from her. "Rest, my jewel," he said softly. "Let me help." Her eyes widened. "No man ever helped me." Emeka smiled. "Then I will be the first." He pounded yam as she watched, astonished. For the first time, laughter rose from her lips, soft, fragile, but real. In his rags, Emeka gave her something richer than gold, respect. At the stream, Amina knelt to fill her calabash. Her faded scarf clung damply to her braids, wrapper patched and dusty. Amira arrived with friends, carrying shiny buckets. "Look at the poor wife of poverty," she laughed. "Will that hut feed you, sister?" The girls joined in mockery. Amina's cheeks burned, but before she could answer, Emeka appeared, taking the calabash from her gently. "Let me carry this, Amina." Gasps rippled. No man in the village treated her so tenderly. Amina sat outside the hut, arranging scraps of raffia she had gathered. Emeka approached with 2 small loaves of bread. "For us," he said warmly, breaking one in half. She stared. "You bought this for me?" He smiled, his rags dusty but his voice rich. "You deserve more than hunger." Amina laughed softly, biting into the bread. For the first time, she felt like a queen, not because of riches, but because someone finally cherished her. One evening, Zainab and Amira stormed into the hut uninvited. "So this is your palace?" Zainab sneered, scanning the cracked walls. "A queen of dirt." Amira twirled in her bright gown, mocking. "Sister, do you cook your stew with tears?" Amina lowered her eyes, wrapper smudged with ash. But Emeka stepped forward, his tone calm yet firm. In this house, my wife is honored. Leave if you cannot respect her. Zainab hissed, shocked that a poor man defended Amina. For once, Amina felt protected. At the market, Amina laid out the raffia mats she had repaired. Her faded blue scarf was tied neatly, her patched wrapper brushed clean. Villagers passed by, sneering. Who will waste coins on that trash? One woman mocked. Amina lowered her eyes but kept arranging the mats. Then an elderly man stopped, touching the weaving. Child, he said gently, placing coins in her palm. Your hands have skill. Amira hissed nearby, bracelets jingling. But Amina's heart soared. For the first time, her labor had value. As Amina returned from the market with a few coins, women gathered at the well, whispering loudly. She sells scraps like treasure, one laughed. She will end like her mother, another added cruelly. Amina gripped her bundle tightly, scarf damp with sweat. Emeka stepped out from the shade, his faded shirt clinging to his chest. He took her bundle, smiling softly. You worked hard, Amina. Let them mock. Your hands are blessed. Her heart fluttered. For the first time, someone spoke of her worth. That evening, Amina visited her father's compound to return a borrowed pot. Baba Usman leaned on his cane, eyes filled with scorn. You dare show your face? You think marriage has changed you? Amira smirked, swirling in her new wrapper. She now sells scraps, father. Our shame multiplies. Baba spat in the dust. I curse the day you were born, girl. Poverty is your portion forever. Amina's hands trembled on the pot, but Emeka's voice echoed in her memory. Your hands are blessed. Back in their hut, Amina wept silently. Emeka noticed, wiping her tears with his rough hand. They will never love me, she whispered, voice shaking. Emeka looked into her almond eyes. You are my treasure, Amina. Their hatred cannot erase your worth. She trembled and used to kindness. His words wrapped her like a warm cloth, stronger than gold. For the first time, she leaned against his shoulder, feeling safe. The world outside mocked, but inside this hut, she belonged. One morning, as Emeka left for the city, Amina noticed a folded letter slip from his pocket. She picked it up, but quickly returned it when she heard his steps. He smiled, adjusting his faded shirt. I will be back, my jewel. Watch the mats. Her heart stirred with suspicion. The letter bore a strange seal, unlike anything in the village. She whispered to herself, Who are you, Emeka? Yet his gentle eyes silenced her questions. She only prayed the mystery would not take him away. At the market, Amina saw strange men in suits near the edge of the stalls. Their eyes followed Emeka as he bargained for firewood. Who are they? She whispered. Villagers muttered. Why would city men follow a poor farmer? Emeka returned, placing coins in her hand. Buy yourself what you need, he said softly. But the men in black still watched, their polished shoes out of place on dusty ground. Amina's heart raced. Poverty hid something deeper in her husband. One afternoon, while sweeping the hut, Amina's broom knocked over Emeka's bag. Papers spilled, contracts, signatures, and a photograph of men in suits beside luxury cars. Her breath caught. This cannot belong to a poor man. She stuffed the items back quickly, heart pounding. When Emeka returned, sweat on his brow, she smiled faintly to hide her fear. Welcome home, she whispered, though her mind screamed with questions. For the first time, poverty felt like a disguise, and she was trapped inside its secret. At the well, women whispered as Amina fetched water. Her faded blue scarf clung damply to her braids, patched wrapper brushing the dust. Her husband meets city men in the night, one woman muttered. Perhaps he is a thief, another sneered. Amina's hands trembled, but she said nothing. Emeka appeared suddenly, taking the calabash from her. Let me carry it, he said firmly. His calm eyes silenced the whispers. Amina's heart swelled. Whatever his secret, his respect for her never changed. One hot afternoon, Chief Okoro arrived in flowing agbada, gold rings flashing. He eyed Emeka's hut with disdain. So, the poor farmer hides secrets, he said, voice oily. Amina stood at the doorway, scarf damp with sweat. My husband is no thief, she whispered. Chief Okoro smirked. Girl, I know more than you think. Soon, the truth will buy me riches. Her heart raced, fear creeping in. When Emeka returned, smiling gently at her, she said nothing, but shadows now followed their love. That night, Amina lay awake on their mat. The hut was dark, Emeka's breathing steady beside her. Her almond eyes stared at the roof. "Who are you, my husband? Why do city men follow you?" Emeka stirred, whispering half asleep. "Do not fear, Amina. My love for you is true." Her tears slipped silently. Even in mystery, his words carried truth. She curled closer to him, torn between fear and trust. The next day, Emeka returned with a hidden package. As he left it in the corner, Amina glimpsed gold-embossed papers before he covered them quickly. "Do not touch these, Amina," he said gently but firmly. She nodded, but her chest tightened. Later, while he fetched water, she brushed her fingers against the sealed envelope. It bore the same strange crest she had seen before. Her almond eyes widened. "My husband is no ordinary man." Fear and wonder tangled inside her heart. At the market, villagers mocked again. "Amina sells scraps. Her husband hides lies," one man shouted. Amina's almond eyes lowered, shame burning. But Emeka stepped forward, his faded shirt clinging in the sun. "Mock me if you wish," he said firmly, "but speak no evil of my wife. She is worth more than gold." The crowd fell silent. Amina's heart swelled, her respect for him growing deeper. Poverty surrounded them, but his love gave her dignity. Chief Okoro stormed into the market, a bodice swaying, gold rings flashing. "This man is no farmer," he shouted, pointing at Emeka. Villagers gasped. Amina, scarf slipping, clutched her mats. "Leave us," she whispered. Emeka stepped forward, still in his faded shirt and sandals, but his voice rang with authority. "You pry into what you do not understand, Chief." Chief Okoro sneered. "Then let the truth speak itself." From the distance, black SUVs rolled into the dusty square. Men in suits emerged, their polished shoes glinting. The market froze in silence. The men in suits bowed low before Emeka. "Sir," one said, "your father's estate awaits your command." Gasps swept the market. Amina staggered, her scarf falling completely, revealing her long braids. You are not poor," she whispered. Emeka took her trembling hands. "I needed a wife who would love me for myself, not riches. You have proven truer than gold." Chief Okoro's face blanched, sweat rolling. Villagers fell silent, shame heavy in the air. For the first time, Amina saw her husband's crown shine. Days later, convoys thundered into the village. Amina emerged from the hut in a dazzling Ankara gown, her scarf now bright indigo, gold earrings glinting. Sandals replaced her bare feet. Emeka stood beside her in flowing agbada, wristwatch gleaming. Villagers bowed as they passed. Zainab and Amira stared, mouths open. Baba Usman dropped his cane in shock. Amina's almond eyes glowed. She had walked barefoot in dust, but now she walked in honor. Her suffering had turned to a crown. At a great gathering, Emeka's associates presented documents. "Your wealth now spans lands and businesses across the nation." Zainab knelt, wrapper dragging. "Forgive us, Amina. We did not know." Amira's bright gown shimmered with shame. Baba Usman wept, his cane shaking. Amina raised her hand, indigo scarf flowing. "I forgive, but I will never forget. Cruelty made me strong. Respect is now my crown." The hall erupted in cheers. Even Chief Okoro bent his head, defeated. At sunset, Amina stood on marble steps of a new mansion, indigo scarf glowing in the light. Emeka's hand clasped hers. "My jewel," he said, eyes full of love. "You walk through fire with me. Now we build together." Amina's almond eyes swept over the crowd of villagers bowing, children cheering. She whispered, "From dust to dignity, love, respect, and hard work brought me here." The wind lifted her scarf like a crown. She was no longer the cursed daughter. She was queen. From torn wrappers and bare feet, to gowns and golden crowns, Amina's story is proof that suffering cannot bury destiny. She was mocked as a curse. She was shamed as worthless. But through respect, hard work, and the deep love of a man who saw her true worth, she rose above them all. Today, she is no longer the poor village girl. She is the queen of honor, and her name will never be forgotten. Remember this, viewers, never despise the poor, for tomorrow, their crown may shine brighter than kings.